Oh no, Lauren, like that's weird. You've talked to other men before you even knew I existed. You should have known you wanted to marry me before we even got to this experiment and you knew that I was gonna be on the experiment. So here's what I'm gonna do. Instead of helping figure things out and either letting go of it or letting you go, I'm gonna torment you about it. I'm just incredibly insecure and I need this to make me feel good, to appear that like I'm the victim and like you're doing something to me. Also, my sister's upset with me and now she won't get me new white sheets. I'm addicted to my sister. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and if you're new here, welcome. On the channel, we get to the root of the issue, we learn how to heal and deal. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to be a part of the fam. Also, if you struggle with anxiety, please go check out my book, Anxiety at the Root. It's a link down below. We dive into anxiety, explaining anxiety, and also talking about ways to heal anxiety. So somatic practices, meditation, neuroplasticity, brain retraining. Definitely go check it out. The link is down below. So today we're going to talk about the different couples that have formed on Love is Blind season 8, and we're going to analyze some of their behaviors. Disclaimer, this is all for fun. We don't know these people from a hole in the wall. We're just getting edited versions of themselves, so be kind, be polite to these people. And I am going to be making assumptions, so if you don't like people that assume, don't watch the video. So the first couple we see in the next 3 episodes is Daniel and Taylor. In my last video about Love is Blind, I talked about how Daniel was acting weird. I still don't fully think that Daniel's off the hook. Me personally, other people are like, oh, Taylor's such a drama queen. I'm not even focusing on like the Taco Bell and the nurse and like whatever. Those are common things people can like. It's more so the way that he responded to the accusation was a little weird. It was interesting. Also, I want to point out, this is important. Daniel does not appear to be 5'8". It was very interesting. He constantly was talking about short kings. 5'8" is not that short. It's like almost borderline like average height, 5'9". Seeing him next to Taylor, Taylor looks like a pretty petite girl. She looks like she's about 5'4", 5'5". I think Daniel is not being truthful about his height. I think he's actually 5'6". And why this matters, and being short is not a problem, like you can't control it, but the reason why is if he's not fully telling the truth about his height, what are other things that maybe he's fibbing about? These are all things I am just perceiving, and they could be dead wrong. It seems like something's a little bit off. But going back to the way that he responded to Taylor accusing him of like following her, like this is such a silly petty argument. I said it in my previous video, like it may have been production planting something, but Daniel wasn't confident in his answers. There's either one or two things. One, he started to get nervous because he couldn't fully remember if he did follow and unfollow, and he started second guessing himself. Like that's a possibility. Maybe he's not very confident in himself and he was worried like about lying or whatever. That could be that. Or he could have been, you know, he had a guilty conscience, but he wanted to pass off that, you know, he didn't want to take full responsibility. Honestly, he seems like the type of guy that wouldn't fully take responsibility, especially with how passive he is. That's just what I'm gathering. So I don't know if I fully believe him in this situation. Again, it's a little silly situation. I don't think Taylor, like people are saying like Taylor is like trying to sabotage and what have you, but maybe Taylor's a little bit cautious because of her past experiences and she's been lied to or manipulated or what have you. And you know, it's better she goes with her gut and tries to figure things out than to just pass it off and then winds up in a scary situation later on. Like going on these shows is scary because it is like a narcissist magnet. It is these shows get people that like want to be famous. So she probably wants to protect her heart because it seems like she genuinely wants to you know, get something from this experiment. She genuinely wants to be in a relationship, get married. I just would have expected Daniel to be more confident, be like, I hear you and I could see why you'd be concerned, but I know I didn't follow you, because like that shows he maybe follows random girls. Like it just says a lot. It says a lot with how unconfident he was and if he wasn't sure if he followed her or not. The other thing when it came to Daniel and Taylor is I don't know if it's just me, but Taylor looks very similar to Daniel's family. Like she looks like she could be one of his sisters. it was pretty interesting to see how similar they looked. But that's not uncommon. A lot of people date people that look similar to their family, or they look like they could be brother and sister. I'm not one of those people. The other thing I noticed when it came to Daniel and Taylor's story is Taylor's mom. It was really sad because Taylor was excited and she wanted to share a big moment, and her mom made it about herself and like, oh, you know, you didn't tell me first. Her mom seems a little bit like she's more harsh, like she wants to be overly involved in her children's lives. And I could understand, in her mom's defense, I could understand as a mother like being shocked and sad that you weren't a part of the experience, but the thing is, sometimes you suck those things up and you just be happy for your child. So I'm sure that took away from the excitement and like why Taylor was so nervous about bringing her fiance around. The last thing I'll say about Daniel and Taylor is, honestly, I don't see chemistry between them. All I see is they talk about two things: Christmas, that they're so similar, and that they like each other. Like, that's it. I don't see like depth to their relationship. I don't know if we're not being shown it, but it doesn't seem like there's chemistry. I don't know fully even if she is attracted to him. I don't see a lot of chemistry in this couple. I don't know if I see them getting married so far, but we'll see as it continues. The next couple I want to go into is Devin and Virginia. People, from what I've seen, is they see it as like a slow burn. I personally, what I've gathered is Virginia, first of all, she's so beautiful. But I feel that she is holding back. She doesn't get very vulnerable. It's almost like she's saying what she feels is the right things. Not that she's putting on a show, but I don't feel like her authentic self is coming through. I think maybe she's being really careful. I don't see a lot of chemistry between the two of them. I think Virginia really likes the way Devin admires her and likes her, but I don't know if Virginia really likes him. Another thing I noticed is Devin said to Virginia, I feel like I could tell you anything and you'll be there for me, or something along the lines of that. But my first thought was, what is that based off of? You've only known Virginia for a little bit. How do you know that? It seems like they both may be projecting their ideas of what they want the relationship to be, but it's not quite there yet. So yeah, like I said, Virginia does seem very reserved. She just seems like she's being polite, and Devin seems to be smitten with her. That's what I'm gathering so far. So far, I don't see them going to the altar, but again, we'll continue to see on as the episodes go on. The next couple, Laruen and Dave. Oh boy, there's a lot to say about them. First, there's no chemistry between them. Again, their conversations are like, I like this, I like you. I didn't know we could have a relationship outside the pod. Like, what relationship? What is to your relationship? What deep things do you guys talk about aside from the fact that Laruen like had a little FWB before she came here, which there's nothing wrong with that because it wasn't a serious engagement. It was like a little fun. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You are just a shame artist, Dave. So going into Dave is so incredibly uncomfortable in himself and so insecure. You can tell based on like assumptions again. It seems like he's had very toxic women figures, like maybe his mom or his sister specifically, that have been really harsh on him, and he is like scared all the time. But that also causes him to be manipulative and rude. He comes across as someone that hates women, but he doesn't outright say it. He says it through passive aggression and little digs, and he says things to get out his hatred for women, or what appears to be hatred for women. The reason why I think he's so attracted to Laruen is Laruen affirms him and soothes him a lot, and that's something he lacked in his relationships with women in his upbringing, from what it seems. As everyone has pointed out, his relationship with his sister is very unhealthy. It seems like a very enmeshed relationship, which means that in the family they were taught that you have to have the same opinions, thoughts, feelings, or otherwise you're going to be shamed or punished in some sort of way, whether it's verbal or physical or what have you. And so that's what it appears. That's why he constantly brings up his sisters, because he's one with his sister. He's very enmeshed. Going into the scene where they went to Dave's house, he looks like he was robbed. There's really nothing in his cabinets. It doesn't even look like anyone lives there. It could have been staged for all I know. I don't know if he lives there. He might live at his sister's. The other thing that was interesting is his reaction to needing Lauren's brother to be okay with their dynamic and living together. I've seen this common dynamic with people who have unhealthy families. They'll hate women, but they'll fear men. And that's what it seems like. He may have had a scary father. It seems like with Dave, he fears men, and that's why he was like, I need to make sure that he's on board, because he was afraid of the reaction of what would happen. The biggest thing though that is like really heartbreaking to see is how big he's blowing the situation with Lauren and this past friends with benefits. Like, when you are engaged to someone, you choose to trust them and try to move forward with them. He's not doing that. He's purposely sabotaging the relationship because it seems like he wants a way out. And he's using his friends as backup so he doesn't have to take responsibility. He's using Lauren as the scapegoat of like, you did something that's horrible and my friends are backing me up and saying like, you are you did do this weird sketchy thing. So that makes him look like the victim and look like he's doing something good for himself by having, you know, having the scapegoat and having people to back him up. Really what it seems like is he's trying to create this certain reality so he doesn't have to take responsibility. And you saw that in the pods when he did that with Molly already. That was a red flag, is he does things to take off responsibility and place it on other people. He is playing a lot of head games with Lauren right now, and he's purposely trying to keep her away from his friends and from moving forward. Like, he is not trying to dissolve the situation, or he's not trying to figure the situation out. He is encouraging the situation, and like, he likes what's going on. He's getting an ego boost about what's going on from what it appears. I really hope that Lauren tells him to go F himself soon, because this is so traumatic. I feel so bad for the girl. I think that she wants it to work so desperately, and she is having like a rejection wound, that she is not facing reality and being like, this man is playing head games with me. So I hope that she does. And you know, I really like her friends, Melissa and Delaney, I think is her name. They had her back and they really were calling Dave out. So that was great. We love that for her. They're definitely not going to the altar. If they do, whiplash. The next is Ben and Sara. I know Ben and Sara both have gotten a lot of heat. Ben, he has said some interesting statements when it came to political issues and gay rights and racism. It's interesting the way that he spoke about it. Ben has had the privilege of not having to face racism or seeing the effects of what people of color deal with, specifically in the Black community. That he lives in Minnesota, it's primarily white. That's not to excuse it, but it's to show that there are people that live that type of life, and it doesn't mean that they're racist or they're homophobic. It just means that they're privileged. He just is an ignorant, privileged white boy. Ben does seem a little off, but I will say they do have a lot of chemistry. They seem very interested in each other. One thing Ben said that was interesting is he said he does laundry once a month. I don't know if he buys clothes constantly, or I really hope he's not wearing the same dirty underwear like all week. Like, washing hair, like, everyone's hair is different. For his hair type, that's interesting. He washes it like once a week or once every 2 weeks, whatever he said. That's interesting for his type of hair. It's not uncommon for other types of for other hair types, especially 3C and above hair types, where it's much healthier to not wash it that much. So that's not the bigger deal. It's more so the laundry that was a little interesting. But again, I do notice Ben speaks very carefully, and then it does wind up where he does say the wrong thing because he is trying to be too careful with what he says. He's not being authentic. So those are some red flags. And the last thing that was very concerning about Ben is the way he responded at the end of the episode 9 with the TikTok.
So here's the thing. We don't know what happened If you watch the TikTok, the girl Andra, I think her name is, she says that some men on Love is Blind are manipulators and will do anything to go on the show, even though they don't really want to get married. They just want the fame. She could be telling the truth, or she could be saying things to go viral. She could be exaggerating, or she could have been really hurt and Ben was a manipulator. She also claims there's other women who have come forward and shared their story. It's all hearsay, since there's no evidence right now. However, the way he responded to it was a little concerning. He claims he doesn't remember, which could be possible. It was 4 years ago. But her crying and having as big of a reaction and him not remembering seem like two extremes that don't make sense. Either he's covering up something or she's acting in an extreme way. Something is off. Now, when it comes to Sara so far hasn't revealed any real big red flags. Some people like her. Some people think she's a white knight. She's a hater or like her type of person.
I don't think that they're gonna wind up going through with the altar. I think Sarah's probably gonna say no. But we'll see as the episodes continue. The last is Monica and Joey. They have a lot of chemistry. But Joey, I don't know if he has the maturity to continue to be in the relationship, or to rather to go to the altar. I don't know if he does want to really fully get married. Maybe he likes the idea, but it doesn't seem like he is ready. It seems like he still has some healing to do with his inner child self, where he was parentified and he had to grow up fast. It seems like he still wants to play. The other big thing that people are bringing up was Monica's sister. I think Monica's sister does appear to be jealous. I think she is jealous of her sister because her sister seems very happy-go-lucky and like light and just simple, and her sister seems like she has more dark energy and she's a little more complex and she's a little more unhappy. I think that she just has a lot of negativity inside of her from what it appears on screen. So I think there is a jealousy aspect. So that is one of the things I noticed. But the other thing I think that triggered Monica, aside from jealousy, to not fully like Joey is because if you notice when they were all talking on the couch and like her sister had her boyfriend, Joey was continuing a joke maybe for a little too long, saying like, oh, the boyfriend just comes around to see Monica. That probably triggered the sister a lot, and that caused her to like not really like Joey. You tell those jokes when you get to know someone more, like that can be insulting, especially if you don't really know this person. So I kind of see her side on that, but I also see that she does have a lot of work, and it like she has to work through her jealousy when it comes to her sister. It's common, like sisters are jealous of each other, not to excuse her, but I do think that people again are so angry at the sister because it reminds them of themselves, to be honest. I think that so many people do things on this show and people get so angry and like they send death threats and stuff, but they're just like the people on screen. Like we all have done toxic things, or we are these toxic people that are on this screen. We're not that much different. So I think people have to keep that in mind. You don't have to like a behavior. You can, like, you know what's crazy about the internet? You don't have to say anything to these people and move on with your life. They are not a part of your life. You don't have to try to correct them. Keep it to yourself, talk to your friends about it, make videos like I am, but you don't have to directly tell these people. Like it doesn't affect your life. So I think the possibility, I think there's possibility with a couple couples that they may go to the altar. I just don't see like a definite yes so far. The ones that I don't think absolutely will not go to the altar is I don't think Joey and Monica are going to, and I don't think Laruen and Dave are going to. There's possibility with the other three. I don't know. I feel like maybe it will only just be one, but I don't know. So what do you guys think? Leave it on the comments below, and please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with somebody you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye guys.